Alright, so this is the Cognition, Learning, and Motivation presentation by myself, Nick Slack. So let's just dive right in. So, out of the three terms, I decided to specifically first focus on motivation. The dictionary definition defines motivation as the act or an instance of motivating or providing with a reason to act in a certain way. So essentially, it's just like what drives someone to do some kind of output or do some kind of job or something like that. So, motivation, it just encompasses the whole idea of what is pushing you to do something, and therefore you also have the lack of motivation towards things, which can usually get you into trouble and can cause you to not get certain jobs done, not get certain things done, because you're just simply, you find that you yourself don't have any goal or any push to finish a task. So personally, I liked to focus on motivation here because motivation is just something that I've always had a hard time trying to find a good balance of while doing schoolwork. Sometimes I will get motivation to do one class, but then I'll get to the next one and I just don't have motivation, and therefore I end up doing things last minute and they're just not as good of a product. So I wanted to focus a little bit more on motivation. So next, how do the dimensions affect cognition, learning, and motivation? And specifically, I decided to focus on biological and psychological, but we'll get into that in a minute. So first, I wanted to define cognition for, more so myself, but also anybody that might be listening to it. So cognition is the mental action or process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through thought, experience, and the senses. So how are these three terms related first? They're all related because they all fall under the umbrella of just learning itself. Cognition helps the individual understand the whole idea. It helps them process it in their brain and understand what they're, talking about. And then motivation is what pushes learning to happen. So together they combine to make up the idea of learning and the process of it. So how do these get affected biologically? So biologically, there's a lot of parts in the brain that deal with the learning process, as this research website that I looked at says, cognition does not just change with age, it relies on biological processes in the brain. So places like the frontal lobe, the hippocampus, and I'm going to say this wrong, but the amygdala, which both of those last two deal with the memory, and the frontal lobe deals with more of the planning and the self-aware part of learning. So there's so many different parts of the body that deal with the ideas of learning and how it gets processed and how certain cells and responses shoot throughout the body to influence motivation or to influence the thought in your brain that is related to cognition, or how you end up learning something that might look totally different from someone else. So then we move on to the effects psychologically. There's kind of four main ones that I wanted to focus on here, which is memory, learning, reason, and age, which you can see listed on the presentation here. So first off, memory. So just as we talked in the last one about emotional effects memory effects through like the hippocampus and the amygdala. Sorry, I said it wrong again, probably. But the memory is related because there are certain judgments made on ways that you learn that are affected by how your brain processes certain cognitions and certain learning topics and stuff like that. The way that your brain holds that looks different based on how you process stuff. So then we have learning. So like I was kind of just saying, our brains make that connection between certain concepts, certain ideas that we learn throughout time, and through that thread of time, it connects one thing to another, and that's how we learn things together. Third is reason. That kind of goes into cognition more, which is, as we hit certain topics, our brain may not understand it fully, so we start to question it, and that gets us on a whole brainwave. And then there's age. Obviously psychologically, you can't teach a 3-year-old what you would teach a 9-year-old. You can't teach a 3-year-old the whole language of Spanish as easily as you can a 9-year-old, just because of the psychological processes. And then, lastly, just a special thank you to all the sources that helped me with this project. Here are my sources listed here, 4 different ones. And finally, thank you. And it was fun to learn more about these 3 topics and how they relate to me in this class. Thank you.